90 minutes is all it took for Blake to be dealt her first loss in court. Just 90 minutes. Y'all, things are getting real messy between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, and after this courtroom battle, Blake might want to start rethinking everything. Because, let me tell you, things are not looking good for her at all. Not only that, both teams were asked if they were willing to give mediation a chance, but they both said no. Interestingly, both sides had different reasons for why they cannot so much as entertain the thought of mediation. There is so much to unpack here, love, so without further ado, let's get right into it.
Like anyone else who would be going through a situation where you're accused of something that you did not do and are suffering in a public way, I think it's distressful, to say the least.
As I have already mentioned, in just a 90-minute court hearing, Justin Baldoni already landed a major win. And to say that Blake's legal team is shaking is an understatement. And while this isn't the final verdict, it is a huge step in deciding how this whole fight is gonna go down. And from what we've seen so far, the only reason Blake's lawyers will let her proceed with this embarrassment is if they genuinely hate her. But before we dive into the new development, let's do a quick recap because at this point, we've got so many updates on this case in one day that you'd barely remember the details of the previous day's events. If anything, these two have filed and updated so many segments of their lawsuit, you'd probably be wondering which one I'm even talking about. Well, at first, it was Blake Lively hitting Justin Baldoni with a wild $250 million lawsuit, accusing him of some serious misconduct. Then, Justin, not about to go down without a fight, came swinging with a bigger $400 million countersuit, accusing Blake of extortion and defamation. He wasn't just ready to play, but went all in on Blake, and now, after months of back and forth, it finally landed in court, setting up one of the wildest legal fights Hollywood has seen in a minute.
And certainly more, evidence will come to light and more information will come to light. And I think people will see it in a similar fashion.
From the very first moment the court session started, Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, came in ready to eat. Like, he wasn't just there to argue, he was there to destroy. And the way that Blake's legal team started scrambling was both entertaining and embarrassing. They were shook. You see, when Friedman said that he was gonna sue Blake into oblivion, well, based on how he handled court, he meant every word. Blake's lawyers were so rattled, they tried to shut him up with a gag order, basically wanting the judge to ban him from making public statements about the case. And y'all, the judge looked at them and said, yeah, no. The judge straight up denied their request, and for good reason. Blake's own lawyers have been out here running their mouths in the media. So unlike in Blake's life, where there's no such word as fair, the judge ruled that there's no way they could talk, but Justin couldn't. This was win number one for Justin. And then it got worse for Blake. Her team just kept whining about how Friedman was giving interviews and making it hard for them to respond properly. Like, every time they tried to say something, Friedman was already out there dropping another bombshell to the point that they were clearly struggling to keep up. And yet again, the judge wasn't buying it. He shut them down and told them Friedman had every right to speak about the case publicly. Both teams were asked to agree to stop going public, but no one could stop the other, and Friedman took that to mean he should address the press more, because that's exactly what he did when he came out of court that day. But y'all, it was what happened next that sent Blake's team into a full-blown panic mode. See, Justin wasn't just fighting this case in court. Oh no. He took the battle to the internet. That's the time, just as Friedman had promised, that they launched a whole website dedicated to the case where he uploaded everything, videos, legal documents, messages, basically all the receipts that back up his side of the story. And when Blake's team completely lost it when they found out, they tried to argue that this could unfairly sway public opinion, but Friedman was ready with facts, reminding them that Blake was the one who ran to the media first. She went straight to the New York Times and gave them the whole story, while on the other end, Justin only had 12 hours to respond before they dropped a damaging article about him. So why is it okay for Blake to use the press, but Justin can't? Clearly, Blake is so out of touch with the real world that she thought that the judge would grant her wild orders just because she's related to Ryan Reynolds. That argument Freedman hit hard, and yep, the judge sided with Justin again. Another huge win for his team. But then Blake tried one more desperate move. She asked the judge to let her pick who would question her during her deposition. If you don't know, a deposition is basically a legal interview where everything you say is under oath, meaning if you lie, that can be used against you in court. And obviously, Blake was trying to avoid being grilled by Freedman because she knew he wasn't gonna let her slide with anything. So once again, Blake ran to the judge to demand for any other lawyer to depose her but Freedman, to which the judge said, absolutely not. He shut that down immediately, and we loved to see Blake's ego shrinking. She was informed that she had to answer questions from whoever the court assigns. No special treatment, no picking who she's comfortable with. And by the time the hearing ended, it was clear Justin won the entire day. Every single time Blake's team tried to fight back, they lost. Every attempt to control Freedman failed. Instead of stopping him, they only made him stronger. And y'all, the worst part was when the judge made it official that both of the lawsuits, Blake's $250 million case and Justin's $400 million countersuit, were to be merged into one case, meaning there won't be a long, drawn-out process. For some reason, Blake's team was not ready for this to go down as one huge, explosive showdown. And trust me, this was just the beginning. And if this first round was anything to go by, Blake is in for the fight of her life. Y'all, at this point, she has to ask herself the realest question of all. Is this battle even worth it anymore? Because let's be honest, this is no longer just about bruised egos and public opinion anymore. If she keeps going down this road and loses, she's looking at a devastating $400 million judgment. And that's not just a hit, it's a full-blown wipe out of everything she and Ryan have built together. That's more than their combined net worth, meaning that even with all of their success, they would be in financial ruin. Ryan has an estimated net worth of $350 million, while Blake is at the tail end of celebs' affluence with a net worth of $30 million. Now that I think about it, could it be that Justin thought about this before dropping a $400 million suit on them? Justin seems nice, but that's something his attorney Freedman would gladly pull. When I told y'all Blake could be done for, she will in ways she never ever saw coming when she started this. And speaking of Ryan Reynolds, we need to address his place in all of this because, and let's be real, even the most supportive husband has got to be shook at the idea of losing everything over this legal war. If Blake loses, it's not just her career that's on the chopping block, it's their entire empire. This isn't just some minor lawsuit that they can just brush off with a heartfelt apology and a PR rehab tour. This is a catastrophic financial blow, one that could force them to liquidate assets, sell properties, and kiss their Hollywood power couple status goodbye. And the worst part is that while Hollywood thrives in gossip and drama, it doesn't forget financial disasters like this. It doesn't matter how many box office hits you've had, once the industry sees you as a liability, it's game over. Ryan is probably having sleepless nights lately.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation? I guess try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been really harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that.
And y'all, let's not pretend like public opinion isn't already shifting, because it is, and both Blake and Justin are losing their hairlines over this one. Justin Baldoni isn't just winning in court, he's winning in the media. Every time he comes out on top in a ruling, it chips away at Blake's credibility. Right now, she looks desperate, like she's grasping at straws while Justin keeps stacking receipts. Hollywood respects power, and unfortunately for the Reynolds, the power is no longer in their hands. If they don't course correct soon, they're looking at a full-on exile from the industry. And as for Blake, she is just legit done for. Think about it. Who's gonna want to work with her after this? Studios do not like her kind of messy. Brands will run in the opposite direction, and any sane director or producer will think twice before attaching her to any project. Literally everyone will be too hesitant to work with her lest they get sued for breathing too loudly. Controversy isn't isn't cute when it comes with a $400 million liability attached. This isn't just a bad look, it's a career death sentence. Don't even get me started on the long-term consequences, because even if she somehow manages to settle, her reputation is already on life support. And if she doesn't settle and she loses, y'all, it's a wrap. There is no bouncing back from a court ruling that labels you a liar and an extortionist in Hollywood. She is just not risking money. She is risking her legacy over a battle she might not even win. Justin Baldoni, on the other hand, cannot back down. While some celebs might settle just to make a scandal disappear, that is not the move for him. His attorney even made it crystal clear in a recent interview that Justin wants a full determination that he did not engage in any of the behavior that he's been accused of. Until then, no deals, no mediation, and no shortcuts. Friedman said that Justin is currently in Hawaii with his family, not on a vacation as many may assume. According to Friedman, no one accused of serious allegations can ever truly relax. And even while dealing with this storm, Justin has still opened up his home to fire victims, showing the kind of person that he really is. On the flip side though, the industry has been keeping their distance from him since this saga started, and for that, he has lost a lot of work. Right now, Justin doesn't even have an agent after being dropped by William Morris Endeavor. Social media might be on his side, but Hollywood, ooh, not so much. Friedman also made it clear that Justin is not playing dirty. He's not taking shots at anyone, not exploiting legal loopholes, and not cracking jokes about his situation. We all know who is. His team is focused on proving the truth, not tearing anyone down. Friedman even added that the only reason why he took this case was because he vetted Justin thoroughly. He went through the texts, emails, voice notes, everything. And in his words, the truth will come out. This situation is bleak, but Justin is standing firm. He wants justice, not just for himself, but to prove that he is a good person. So even though he's currently kind of blacklisted in Hollywood, they rejected the option of mediation when it was offered in court because they know that things will turn around. For that reason, Baldoni is taking his power back because people-pleasing left his body after dealing with Blake. He is controlling the narrative by simply providing facts and not letting the courts do the work for him. Every win is on his side, and it makes it harder for Blake to ever recover. And if she keeps fighting without any real leverage, she's gonna become nothing more than a cautionary tale of what happens when you take on a battle you weren't ready for. And let's not forget, this is Hollywood. It loves a redemption arc, but only for those who play their cards right. If Blake keeps pushing when odds are stacked against her, she's gonna end up with no cards left to play. So what's next, in case you're wondering? Well, since the claims have finally found their way through the corridors of justice, expect more courtroom chaos, more headlines dragging Blake's name through the mud, and more L's for her legal team. At this point, we're witnessing one of the biggest downfalls in recent Hollywood history in real time, and the way that things are going, best believe it'll get even messier. Thanks for watching, loves, and let me know what you think about all of this down below. See you on the next one.